Hello and welcome back. Right, we have got some spraying to do. Right, pay attention to details as well. Let's put narrows on. Oh, we're going to get damage. That's not... Ooh. It's in the way. Looking forward to this, I really am. Oh, didn't mean to do that. Let's drop the entire thing. That's better. Actually, yeah, thinking about this, that probably is the wrong choice. Right, thinking about this is going to take us a while to do this. We've still got the wood to do. I'm trying to think of any other jobs that we've got to do. This was the last job. We can't speed time up. It's a perfect opportunity to literally get that wood done. To rehire the... I think we will. Yes, so we need this. So, you know, talk about faffing around. Right, let's send this. Let's just reverse what we've just done. Do you know? I don't know. Right, big weight. Right, anyway, let's not worry about this now. It's more important to get the caves done. Yeah, we need that. Yeah, sooner we can get that job underway. Right, we need to drop that off. Oh, no. Wheels. So one thing I do love about the case, for a medium tractor it does allow you, there aren't many of the bigger ones. This is such a versatile tractor. Why does it always do that? Always gets rid of the front 3-point link. Always. Narrow tyres. Do love the narrow tyres on this as well because they're not really nice, the new ones. The ones on the New Holland really do look narrow, whereas these look quite nice. Oh, I think we need to, yeah, I think this is empty, isn't it? No, it's not. Spray. I think we did this manually last time. We did indeed. Let's set the course. Oh no, it's done it. No, that's yeah. Yeah, 2 definitely. Maybe even one. Save course, activate 4 sprayer. Yay, and it's in the right place. Smash it. Right, what I was silly. I meant to do was send that up to the shop. But we are going to do that. Right, I'm trying to think. Oh. Can I? Yes, I can. Now then, did we? Yes, I'm sure we bought the dolly on this one. Sure we have. Oh. Right. Where did I leave the dolly? Now that is a good question. Yeah, I thought I had. Show on map. Ah, shop. Smashing. Right. Well, we're going to do this ourselves. There's no point in giving a job to somebody or something else when you've literally got time yourself. This should enable us truly to pretty much get rid of all this, all the wood. It really should. Yeah, especially now we've got having the bigger field. Yeah, this is. It throws the dynamics out. So you get used to how long it takes, but this is going to take a while now. Really is. So it really is very spot on that we can actually get this quite a lot done. I would say we'll easily get the wood finished from where in front of field 4. That one definitely. And I think we'll maybe even get some more done as well. So definitely worth hiring the equipment again, the trailer and that. Would be nice to get this job finished. It is a big one though. I realise that it's horrible wood as well. Don't know. Fill the trailer quickly. Really looking forward to this, if I'm honest. It's been a few days since my last Hobos Hollow. I seem to really, on average, only manage one episode a week. I've got quite a lot of juggling of what I call nuclear let's plays. One's brilliant. Let's get this going. Yeah, we've got enough for the next one. But let's top this up. No point in being silly. Now, if I remember rightly, this is only a little tiny bit. Current, create job, field position 3, open generator, should have the same as it before, generate course, go. Now this is where we'll see where the course play goes to the course before, even though we just said clear the course, and this is where we see course play is faulty. So it's, there's definitely, I am right, it only can guarantee that it will remember it if it's never had a course before. It's bugged. There's definitely a fault on courseplay itself that you can see that the start marks are there, so it knows it's created the course, but for some reason it goes to the course before, and it does that 70% of the time. It has done for quite a while, so I'll be glad when Courseplay do fix that, because it's yeah, more than a bug. That it's quite a serious error, programmatical error, which is it's fantastic. And yes, guys, I have bought you quite a large drink, so yeah, I do talk as someone who has actually contributed. Right. Anyway, enough complaining. It is, yeah. I know of its faults, so I deal with it. Yeah, but it would be nice when it's fixed. Because I used to be honest, until Phil B very kindly told me of the console, I always used to use that feature. And it is still useful to use it in situations like that, where you just create the course and you want to tell it to go, without going into the other screen where you tell it to go. So yeah, it's definitely... Let's get some fuel while we're passing. Right, smashing. Slight amount of damage, but nothing special. Yeah, 90%. No, 100%. What is it that's damaged? Oh, the self-made weight. Right. Let's lease this then. Yeah, I know, I've had problems with this dolly, which is really strange, because on this we've had no problems, and with exactly the same trailer, so it must be the this particular tractor is really good for... Let's just remind myself what... Oh yes, the lovely fast track, the big one as well. That would be lovely, that one. That's a gorgeous tractor. I haven't had one in FS22 either. Oh, now that is an absolute bargain, really is. Ooh, have we got any debt? Let's just, yeah, before we get carried away there, let's, no, wood. Forestry, I think we're looking for, Mr. Smith. Right, lease. Yes. Good. Had a horrible sinking feeling then. I thought, oh, please don't tell me that I've actually... mind you, I needed to go up for the dolly anyway, so yeah. I thought I'd left the shop deliveries, store deliveries down on the farm. I had that feeling, and then but I never heard the noise. Although it doesn't always make the noise. Sometimes, occasionally, it just, yeah, keeps the position. Right. I think we're going to definitely buy that. Let's see, are we in debt though? I'm sure we cleared this. We did. I think we are. Yeah, 10 grand debt, and let's treat yourself. It's the 150 horsepower one. It really is a good tractor. Yeah, I don't know what the... We'll leave it as it is, and it is... Let's buy that. Yes. Right, straight into debt again, but it's still got a bargain. We did say I needed another one, and it's a good all-round tractor. I can stick the Pepe 978 front lifter, front 3-point link on it, so yeah, then it's an absolutely amazing. It's a very weird shape, I've got to say that, but that I'm not terribly bothered by that. Right, so we need to go grab that. Right, let's send this. It seems to struggle to go around the corner, so I'm going to send it down around the corner, and then we'll send it back to our field. And then we'll just hop into the... See, this is what wastes a lot of time. It's a good job we have got the last field, otherwise it wouldn't have been worth doing, because we're actually 2/3 the way through all of our work. But luckily that big field, that's going to take a while, so it's definitely worth us doing this. Imagine, even if, yeah, we'll still keep it hide anyway, and then we'll do it next session. If it doesn't work out as I'm thinking, we'll still, right, let's put it on that. Let's hope you behave yourself. have enough, I think, just about, I reckon. Oh, come on. It's a straight road. Right. Let's show this. Clear current course. Definitely. Create job. Field position. Okay, let's just try something. Let's try target position 2 in case for some reason it does still pick it up. Could be that. Never know. It's worth a try. Maybe that has more of a impact than people think it does. But I'm sure I've done that as well in the past. We shall see. Now that is looking like it's gonna be, yes. Seriously. Now, I'm not being nasty, but I don't know what invisible barrier was holding the work back, but yeah, very strange. But it did really look like some force was holding it back. Very strange. I don't know. Ah, yes, this is doing what it did before. But on the others, I've never had this. With this tractor, this wheat, this weight, this dolly and this trailer, I've never had that moving around. I've used this a lot. This one is doing it now. The dolly's not right. It's misbehaving. Could have been that was doing the worker. It's much worse on a lot of tractors though, but this is, yeah, I can cope with this, but it isn't still right. It's doing weird things. Right. Let's get some wood done. Ooh, yeah, it's been close to that tree. Ooh, yeah. Ah, I'm gonna say I looked at the bottom of the tree and thought, I'm sure I'll do that. It's the top. And I've got standard wheels on, so. Come on, give me a break. That is really. Right. Now then, come on, you've been chopped. You have to remind things in this universe that physics do actually exist. Really quite annoying. Right. Anyway. Stick that away, I think. It's not going to be far off. Right, now let's hope that this. I do love this big bag wrench. Whoa, 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 whoa. No, we don't want it flinging across the map. It's weird, when this first was... It was very difficult to do that to it. Now, gangly wood seems to suddenly be doing it. Making that... Was it just literally, as most of us know, apart from people who are new to the game, as soon as it's doing the shaky thing, it literally will... It gets more and more aggressive and then throws it across the map. But it never used to do that. It was so I remember Mr. Sealy P showing this on one of his videos, and mind you, I think he did make mention that it still did it, but oh no, I'm sure he said he'd never got it to do it yet, and I hadn't for a long while. But then all of a sudden, I tried it a bit later, and yeah, with gangly wood like this, and it did. It then did start to do the shaky, where it goes mad. Right, so we'll just get that branch chopped as well. Ooh, it's not right. Ooh. Oh, do you know, I hate the invisible bits on these things, so annoying. Right. Just on my the Old Stream farm, I've just that's not quite. Just treated us to a telehandler for the first time ever. I actually had a bit of spare money, and the telehandler came up on the sales, so I've treated us. Very, very nice. Right, lovely. Aha. Right. Yeah, it was a good choice. We would have had a lot of... oh, it's got an invisible bit. I do hate that. Look at that. Right. Let's grab the case. I think we're going to need to definitely top up. Mind you, we're passing it anyway to get to field 5, so that's perfect. Let's go and get that off on the side of the field first, though. Let's be sensible. I do love this little spray. For saying it isn't massive, as I say, if you leave a worker or courseplay just, you know, wandering around the field, it's, yeah, it doesn't take very long at all. It is amazing. Very, very useful. Very, very reasonable. Just a shame there's not one in game that's this reasonable. I had to go to the less nice places. Right, smashing. Let's get that field now. Oh, I do love this silo. It is. There is another one I'm trying at the minute as well. This is definitely... What am I doing? This is my favourite. I do love it. Just something about the look of it that I really do like. But yeah, I'm trying another one that came with another pack that I didn't even realise I'd got in. But yeah, it's... and it's not the money either. Because this is just unbeatable value. 11 grand for that, with that capacity and multi-fruit. Wow, what's not to like? Right, last field. This is going to be the driving force, though. When this is finished, I definitely will... Right, I'm going to try that again. Let's see if we can duplicate, or whether it was just a fluke. Right, so create job. Field position 5. Target position just in front of us. Generate 2 should do. Open and start. Let's see. Was that a fluke, or is it that have we found the secret to making this work? I think we perhaps have. Okay then, so Scroft, that's one thing you were wrong on. The only thing is you said it didn't really matter much about that. It does seem in this one instance, if you've got, so even if you clear the course, if you put target position, it actually does listen to you in this particular instance. So there we go. Nothing wrong with courseplay, you just have to use it in a very, very precise way to make it work properly. Excellent. I do like that. It's a long way to run. I'm going to jump into that. Yes. Yes, I did watch Scroft's tutorial. It is very good, but yeah, it's a real finicky little tiny thing that really. So I'm not no, I'm very grateful. He is a very good content creator. Some very good videos, and it is a very sort of yeah, minor thing. Ooh, invisible bits. Oh, look at that. Seriously. Now you should have surely got that as well. Or no, maybe not. Very precise in its scroll. Oh, my life, that's heavier than it looks. Oh, it's got some sea. Oh. Do you know, these invisible bits, and when you cut this and you've got the cables on, it actually... Ooh, it didn't do it that time. That must have another invisible bit. Now then, there's some little tiny bits down there as well. Let's see if we can grab those. No, we can't. I'll do, because it's... Oh no, got one of them. Be nice. I can't wait till the day when we've actually got rid of all this slot. Ooh, invisible bits. Oh, do you know, seriously? That's as high as that will go. Yeah, telehandler is the only thing that would combat that. Okay. Whoa. One at a time it is then. Whoa. You will not lift. Why will you not lift? Stupid invisible barrier. Whoa. Okay, now you look weird. Oh, it's this one. Would you believe it? Ridiculous. Right, let's get rid of that little floaty bit. Oh. Okay. Yeah. I think this is the bit that stresses me out. I actually enjoy this, but not this particular aspect because it's so weird. Oh, like that. Invisible bits that join stuff together that then make it difficult to stick in trailers. Really is annoying, and there's nothing you can see. There's no bits on that you can see that literally should do that. So annoying, and it's this when it starts doing the shaky thing as well. Also, how am I supposed to drop them in there? Plus which, it also fills the trailer like so quickly. Ridiculous, you only get half a load in. Still, I've always known that yeah, forestry is a little bit fraught. I think we all do. Anybody who's done any serious amount of forestry, and trust me, in my beginning days of FS19, boy did I do a lot of forestry. Yeah, it was my go-to thing. Yeah, which is why I went off it for a while, because I used to go on and on and on and on and on and on with forestry. Ooh, bits, invisible bits again. This is not going to go this end. Yes. God, Bennett. Ridiculous. Let's try the other end. Might need to... So I'll say it's so faffy. It's perfect with standard logs, but you know, like the proper logs. But you can see why people, and myself included, love things like the tree devourer that was in FS19. You could do, yeah. I wish there was something that you could do that, because this type of game mechanics are what make that fantastic when you're doing gangly trees. I don't think there is anything out there yet that like that, is there? There is the, I think it's a Seppi. It's the Seppi M9 that's supposed to do that, but it's a bit. I'd leased one on North Shore Nuclear Let's Play, bit of a show off of the map, and yeah, it's not there yet. It's quite horrible. It doesn't do what you'd expect. It does do it, but it takes, it's not very nice the way it does it. Not like it should do. Not like the Tree Devourer and the other ones that have done that. I'm sure I'm right. I'm sure there's nothing yet in the game that does it. There's not many mods though that you that are missing now out of the lineup in comparison to FS19. I'm trying to think. The only things, Snowblower as we used to call it, I think that's still missing. I don't know if Giants will ever allow anything like that, but it is useful for those jobs that, I could live without it if there was anything game mechanics wise that did do something similar. I used to call it the cheap man's loading wagon, because it was fantastic for that. Really fantastic. Because again, loading wagons are very expensive. Right, let's try this. Ooh. Okay. Oh dear, that's not a good grab. I think this is, they got the last bit, I reckon, because of how awful that it's stacked. Yeah, actually. Let's go around the other side. It's not going to go in very nicely, that's not. Steady on. Oh, please, that big log is... That's why I wanted to go the other side. I could see there was a good... No, invisible barriers are doing it again. Seriously. One at a time, yeah, right. Fantastic. Yeah, that's the other thing I don't like. Rolling over any kind of boards is a nightmare. It does weird things. And this is when stress is caused by forestry. That's the other thing I realise. I have high blood pressure. And you don't realise how stressful things like this are. And I think that's why, deep down, I actually did give forestry up for a long while. Because of this kind of thing. These are stupid invisible barriers that stop you from doing things. And yeah, it causes undue stress because it's not something you can defend against, because it doesn't always do it, but then it does it often enough, and it has ever since FS19 done exactly this type of thing, where this kind of log is just a nightmare. The only way you can truly do it is, I'm going to finish this particular load, and at least get one load done. Now, why did you grab that one? He was nowhere near it. invisible bit. Of course. Of course. Silly me. Oh. Of course you can do that. Right. I'm determined we are going to do one full load. Then we shall leave the stress for another day. Yeah, it is. Actually, I do remember my very first foray into... it was on Sudbury Meadows, but it wasn't actually at the proper wood place. I used to love the field that was behind... Well, you'd need to be familiar with Sudbury Meadows, the map on FS19, which it was not a very popular map, which has always surprised me, because it was always one of my absolute favourites. It's really one of those maps that there weren't many Let's Plays. I remember looking on YouTube to think, I'd love to see Sudbury Meadows. Someone do it. Oh, look at that invisible just getting in the way. This is ridiculous. Absolutely ludicrous. Right. Do you know? Enough. We shall do you next time. I have not got the patience to faff around with the stupid mechanics of Forestry today. I'm going to ignore it. Yeah, leasing costs. It's tough. Right. Okay. Right. I'm not going to fill this because we are, yeah, seriously low on money. Thanks to someone buying a tractor in the sales, of course. We've got plenty of money for this type of thing. Right. I do believe that is every single job done. Let's just double check. I'm sure it was just the weeding that was left to do. Oh, hang on a minute. Ooh, one fertilisation state as well. Right, okay, let's get the case going. My bad. This has still got narrows. Ooh, look at that front weight. Now that is, it's got some serious lime on it. Right, we're going to do this manually. So if we're not doing the forestry, I'm going to do a job that I enjoy and find relaxing. It's a shame really with the forestry work, because apart from that I actually thoroughly enjoy it, always have done, but yeah, it does cause unnecessary stress that you don't realise. If you've got something like high blood pressure, then you do realise that it's just not worth it. That's why I came out of it. I'm sure it was, but I don't think it was a conscious decision. It was one of those that, yeah, because I do remember the very first time I did it was with the gnarly trees, and I had a blood pressure machine, and I looked after doing it because I felt a bit funny, and it sent my blood pressure through the roof, and I thought, seriously? It's because it does, yeah, have an impact. When things don't go right, it really does have an impact that you don't realise, a physiological, yeah, impact. So I think that's why I came out. Normal forestry is fine when you've got proper, although there is always the stress of loading. It is, I always find it's one of those jobs that, yeah, it's definitely a little bit more stressful than most things. In fact, even baling I actually enjoy. I find that less stressful than I used to. I did used to find baling stressful, but I don't let it worry me. I think we've done that much, like on the old stream farm. It literally manual loading as well. I mean, to be honest, yeah. I've not done any auto loading on FS22 at all, and I don't intend to. I don't want to go back now. I want to stick to manual loading. I really do enjoy it, and it's obviously more realistic, which is what I'm aiming for in FS22. I don't want to go back when I used to On my Greenwich Valley, I used to always use the Adjuranti. Always was one of my go-tos for, yeah, auto loading, because it was such, I was in such a big way. But there are ways now. If you use the extractor, you can make tubes of them. Right, let's have a look. I don't think we'll get away with this quite in one, but nearly. Very nearly, in fact. Ooh, maybe we will this bit. That's not bad, actually. I know that's slightly wasteful now. How do we... Is it that one? No, that one. No, that's the mini-map. I could have sworn it was that one. Come on, I've got to master these key configurations. Let's have a look. Switch the help menu on for 1 minute. No, that's not the help menu. Right, partial width is how? Partial width. Yeah, but how? Unload. Left bumper and right stick. Okay, lovely. Right, there's just a little tiny bit up that top end where it was, yeah, where it widens out. And that's it, I think. And then we shall speed time up, having done all jobs on our farm. Then we're going to have to hope, yeah, we're going to have to lease a sunflower header. That's the one thing that we've not got. Not sure whether to buy or lease. The trouble is, you probably, I must admit, if I'd done sunflowers, there was only one Let's Play I've ever done sunflowers as my main crop, where I did it nearly all the time, and all the other times I've probably done it once or twice in an entire Let's Play, so leasing I think is probably, in my opinion, the way to go. Right, let's grab some fuel as we pass in. Right. So I reckon leasing, if I'm honest. Again. Right, stick that where it was before, with undercover this time. Oh, it's got rid of the lime. That blow in the wind. Right, okay then. Smash in. Job is a good one. We are really now completely finished. Look how long it takes to pop. Oh, I missed a little tiny bit there. I'm not going back now. That'll do. It's as good as it gets. Right then, so now when do this? I've never done sunflowers in FS22. Well, let's have a look. Sunflowers are ready to harvest September, October, November. Right. Oh, have we got any crops on hand? I don't think we have we? It was cotton. Yeah, brilliant. I have to remind myself, because my memory is so terrible. Right, 8 o'clock will do. Now, can we see them ready though in the distance? That's why I love this Sleep Anywhere, because you can just literally stick yourself on the side of the field and watch your crops grow. I enjoy that, it's good. Whereas from this distance, not so much. Right, yeah, I know we're leasing costs, but it's, yeah. As a human being, my mental well-being is more important than the high cost of that. I don't care. Oh, didn't look at the daily deals, did I? Tut tut. Now we've already got a 9.2 meter, yeah. that's mainly, if I remember rightly, it goes up to with all the grass type things. If you go to the full capacity, that is quite good value, but I think it only goes up to 16 tons, if I remember right. Yeah, and then it goes into the other ones where you can only have like grass type, hay, straw. I can't think of the right words, but you know what I mean. It is good though, but we've got enough now, haven't we? Got. Reminds me, where is that? Have we only got the rice? I thought we'd bought another one now. I could have sworn I'd bought another trailer. Yeah, the Rudolph, that's right. Oh yeah, I can see it actually now. I'm being silly. Right. How are we doing? Let's have a look on the map. We're going to use that. Right, ready to harvest. So, oh yeah, so plenty to go yet. Right. Let's sleep again. No, we haven't found windrower. Right. Right. Loan interest. Yeah, we haven't yet. No, I don't think I've ever bought the Terra Track. That's a good price for such a big tractor. It really is. But no, we're not getting into debt for anything like that. We've got, I think that should be our last tractor, unless we're gonna. Well, we will go big eventually. But yeah, I could probably go for modded unless we're very fortunate with something like that at that price. Right. Okay then. Oh, they're growing nicely. I can see them. They're not ready to harvest, but oh. They may be, yeah, I thought we might actually, I think we planted a bit late, but it looks like it was caught up. Right, last month. We're going to give the shop a ring, I think, to drop this off. Because workers don't like going down that road, and it's, yeah, time as well. I think it's well worth paying that delivery cost. Right, are they done? Oh, they are indeed. Right, excellent. Let's get to work. How long has this session been? Yeah, we can. Yeah, it's not been a long session. Right, store deliveries. Right, let's give the shop a ring. Oh, it's not. I like the 1150. That is my absolute favourite. That's still a good tractor. Very good deal. Now that's tempting. For 15 grand. Yeah, no, we'll stick to the leasing. To be honest, we're not going into logs on a big way. I'll be glad when we've got this lot done. I'm even tempted to, yeah, if I'd got something like the Unreal Devourer, I'd jump at it and I'd just literally pump them through it. Sure, I haven't got anything under logging. Sure, there's nothing that's like that yet. I mean, these will. See, it's not that one. It is. Yeah, the Sepia M. That will. Yeah, it will actually remove trees as well, but there's nothing like the Unreal Devourer that you can actually do that with yet. Right, now then, headers. Let's concentrate on the task ahead. We want, yeah, we are going to go for the proper Helianthus. Now the Deutz is 6 meters, so it should be able to cope with one slightly bigger, because the Helianthus are quite light. says. Where is the next Helianthus one? 12 metre. I don't think it can manage double. Oh my life, that's ridiculous. There's nothing in between. So it's either... Okay. I daren't go for that. Yeah, we are getting low. In fact, can we afford to lease? We can indeed. Yes. Right. Yeah, we're going to risk... I'm not going to risk it. We're just... not worth it. Let's let that go. A very unceremonious dump that when it drops that down. I'm not sure whether we'll get away with it for 6.1 metres. We should try. It's surprising how there is a little bit of give on the courseplay courses. We should see if there's that much give. It's 0.4 of a metre. So let's have a go. Just as a laugh. Let's see. If it doesn't, we shall obviously create temporary courses, as I say, because we're not really going to do this often enough, I don't think. Right, so clear current course just in case. We want field 4, 6 metre header, load, activate, go. Let's see. Should still be on self-unload. Let's go grab the trailers. Crashed into the fuel tank, do you know? Right, little John Deere. Come on, you can have some action. It's not fair that everybody else gets all the action. This is exactly why I always wanted it for this type of job. Ooh. That's awkward. Yeah, I'm going to need to pull that out. No room to get by. Now then, is there enough room to sneak past the trailer? It's tight. Yeah, let's switch the engine off, that is enough. Okay. I do love these little John Deeres. I do prefer these to the new 1630 because of the extra horsepower you get just for that. I think it's about 3 grand, and I think it's, yeah, it's 2 kph faster as well. Not that that really makes, I think it's 19 miles an hour, the 1630. With 1630 is the one I always had on FS19. I don't think this one was released, or can't recall that it was. Yeah, it's weird when you usual start of when you usually start from scratches. Ooh, no, missed it. You tend to go for modern tractors a lot, so you're looking for that starting tractor that you can afford. There we go, smash it. I had a horrible thought that I hadn't started the recording then, but I have. Recording better. Right. Let's see, have we got lines, or has it actually managed it? It should do. I have seen this before where it doesn't leave lines. This will be the one that's, because I think I had overlap, so that overlap should cover us for, yeah, it does. Look, there's still a bit of overlap even at that. Fantastic. I've never noticed that before, like the invisible shadow that goes behind the line. Right. Anyway. Okay, I'm going to be daring. Yeah, nothing else to do, so breathe deeply and relax. Right, let's get rid of this little tiny thing. Yay! Managed to get just the one this time. Right. Let's see if I can put you where I want to. I do love the way you can use those two front bars as actual prodders. I do love this. It is amazing. It really is. Right. Let's put a strap over that. Don't want anything wandering. We're nearly got a full load, but it's certainly not a full load properly. It's like a third of a load. Yay. Let's try to get that somewhere like. Oh, we still can't. So we shouldn't be stuck on anything. Do you know? Right, I refuse to engage. This is why I do that silly thing, which is you wouldn't do in real life, because of these stupid invisible bits. I'm going to take wood with me. I'm going to take one load with me, only because it's, yeah, this ridiculousness, not because. Let's grab that other piece, the invisible bit, that last one. As long as it doesn't do the shaky, you'll do. Right. Yes, if I'm ever tempted to chop the rest of that forest down to make use of the space, as I've hinted a few times, yeah, it'll have to be for someone like the tree devourer. If something like that comes up, we'll grab it. Otherwise, look, this is the other ridiculous side. The invisible bits go into the floor. Actually, maybe the invisible bits on the front. I was worried about you. Didn't think he was going to stop. I do love that field level warning, the way that it goes orange when it hits 81%. Fantastic. Whoa, 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 whoa. Half wandering, wow. A wood indicator needs battling me. see if this pays for those leasing costs that we've had for days. It's months. I must get into the habit of saying months instead of days. So it is months. Same as when you say you're sleeping. You're not really sleeping, you're just passing the time, aren't you, really? But it's weird. Obviously, we've always called it sleeping because you're sort of technically sleeping through the months. But yeah, it's only a technicality, isn't it, really? Ooh. Right. Yeah. Oh, I think that more than covered the cost of your leasing, Mr. Smith. Be reminded that it's subject to the... Yes, it's now dropped down to the bed. Excellent. Yes, definitely more than cover the leasing costs. I'm very pleased with that. That's actually not a bad load. That's one of the best loads we've had. So it might... The invisible wood is... That's the only good thing about invisible wood, is you do actually get paid for it. Which, if it's quite a chunk of invisible wood that you can't see, then you get quite a bit of money for it. Hooray, it's self-unloading, fantastic. I would imagine it's not far off finish the field, actually, with it being the small one. I'm very interested to see what we get on this. I do realise as well, obviously, this is... we were doing all of the crop types that I did initially to see which crop types were... This is obviously... no longer relevant for that test I was doing to see what capacities you get from all the different crop types. Yeah, no, I could still do it if I'm clever. I could. Yeah, I can literally leave that in the trailer till last, do field 5 last, check capacity, what we get, and then stick field 5 in afterwards. Will still be a proper test. Just intrigued to see how much you actually get from each type. Right, I need to get the dolly. Right, that's brilliant. We should move this on to the other field. Should we stick this in the middle? Mind you, you're not going to get that lot on anyway. Right, let's move that on. And we shall see how much we got. Move those onto the next fields. Right, let's do a tiny bit of clean up. Its own, yeah, it did do its proper job though. All that it was missing was the unfold. Oh, my bad. Yeah, let's get this bit cleaned up. Weird header. Right, boys, found the helianthus. Doesn't sort of look like it's grabbing it, but it's special, so it does, but it's... Yeah, not like the normal header. It seems weird the way that it... Quite nice, that red and green together. I don't think this would have coped with the 12 metre one though. I'm sure there used to be a 9 metre helianthus. I'm sure there did. It seems a massive leap from 6 metres, 5.7 metres straight up to 12. I'm sure there was a 9 metre. I am looking forward to precision farming, which I believe is it? Yeah, just days away now. Very looking forward to that. I shall be switching it straight on and getting straight into it and hoping that it's not changed enormously. I know there's going to be changes, that's definite. Everything's been changed on FS22 between FS19 and to FS22. We all know that, but yeah, just hoping that it's not changed too much. Used to love precision farming. Precision farming and seasons are such a good partnership, or were the FS19. Right, clear the course and load 3. Load, activate. I can see it. First waypoint. And let's grab that. Right, let's see how much we actually got off that first field. Yield wise. What did we get? I'm not expecting grand amounts. 8 tons, yeah, it's reasonable. I think that's probably roughly what I expected. It's never a super duper. It's not a wheat or a barley, is it? Really? Right, let's twiddle this around in this space. Ooh, I've forgotten about that pile of wood. Another thing Causeway likes is that these to be square to the field seems to cope best with not. It still does crash them around sometimes, but... Right, let's get on with a bit more wood. Ooh, that one looks a massive piece. Let's grab that. Yes. I thought I'd done all the big ones, but I can see one I missed. Ooh, see if I can reach over and grab it. It's a bit far out. It's going to have some weight to it, that as well. Yeah, I'm not going to even contemplate trying to grab something else at the same time. Some tonnage in that. 6.3, 9.4 tons, 3.1 tons of wood. I should be able to easily cope with that, really, when you think about it. Should. Okay. Ooh, yeah, I'd forgotten about that. It grabs the trailer as well. That didn't seem to grab the trailer. Good. Right, let's get rid of this pile first. It is the biggest pain. So push them together a little bit better. Smash it. Let's see if we can grab. Gotta be careful though, some of these are weird to be grabbing. Perfect. Yeah. Was it worth it for one extra piece? I think we have got some wood without any invisible pieces. I think that's just normal wood. That's a nice change. Oh, except when it doesn't go in. Come on. Very nice. Straps. Ooh, will we get this loaded? I wonder. Yeah. Let's square off. Let's try and get this a bit squarer. Reminds me of games we play as kids. That when you're picking up sticks, and you've got to be careful not to pull the one out, but sort of in reverse. Yeah, you've got to try and get the ones that. Ooh, that's messy. Yeah, that's very messy. Let's see if you can get away with it. I'm not not sure that's going to go in. Never say never though. Got to have a go sometimes to do these weird things. It does present a challenge. Yeah, it does present a challenge, but now if we twiddle around, get away with it. Last time I tried to do this though, if I do a run up, it should make the trees wobble forwards like that. Smashing. I do love it when a plan comes together, because it doesn't come together very often with wood. It really doesn't. Right. Ooh. See you. One day we won't have a job like this to do, and then we shall have to see what else we can do. I am seriously considering though buying a second harvester, so we would be able to harvest assist in the future going forwards. Yeah, I'm seriously thinking if we would get anything for the... I think, I don't know, there's a case that's just dropped in the game. I'll show you. It was the one I mentioned in the past that I used to use, I think, in FS19. It was the case, the one that I always used. It was a modded one, and it has dropped again. It's not as cheap as it was. It was very cheap, but it still is very, like cheap enough that I'd love to go for it. Its capacity's good, and its speed is good, and that's what I loved about it before. It's a real good all-rounder. Now then. Ooh, that is a long log. No, this end actually, looking at it. Now if this goes as it normally does, we're getting quite close to being full. Let's get rid of some of these weird logs, the little bits. This one that seems to be hidden in the ground as well. Yeah. Not gonna push it because it's weird, those pieces. Right. Okay. Let's see if we can get past it on the right. No. Let's try that bit there. No. I think we're getting a bit... Yeah, that's what I mean. It's weird. You just can't quite... Let's try this side. I'm sure there should be a bit more room than... Yeah, still some invisible bits. Might fall out the back, that's my only worry. Right, let's try and grab... Yeah, I might actually grab some in this again, because I'd like to get rid of this pile this time. But yeah, because of the invisible bits you can't see, I don't think I can get any in. I might be able to get some side. Let's see what we can do. Let's get into the weird straggly bits now. Let's try and get that larger log. Yeah, we'll just do the cleanup of the little tiny bits next time. Some weight in there actually, so I think there's a bit of invisibleness again going on. Well, we have pretty much, apart from the tiny weeny little bits, got rid of that. Oh, it is doing that. Invisible bits in the ground again. Oh, well done you. You just dragged... Oh, seriously, why are you not saying that someone's blocking you? Really does annoy me now. So annoying. They just sit there forever wasting your money and not saying that they're blocked. I don't know. Let's clean this corner up while we're here. Where did you get to? Is the question. It always does that, and that's nothing to do with width of the header either. It always misses that patch no matter what harvest we do on that side. It's slightly too... Right, let's see. Where did you get to? Oh, okay. Switch the lines on because I cannot for the life of me see where you got to. All waypoints. Got into there. Now then, so where do you make the change to that line? Aha, here. Brilliant, it's just on the headers. Going into this bit here. It's just going to make swizzle to this bit here. Right, smashing. Nearest. Let's get rid of those. Smashing. Yeah, it's so annoying that is the fact that it doesn't show when the work is blocked, when they are blocked. Need some fine tuning. Still, you cannot expect perfection. It was, even FS19 had its foibles. I've said this game, to me personally, has got one of the steepest learning curves of any game I have ever played in my life. And obviously the trouble is when it changes even versions, obviously Giants seem to always aim for totally throwing us curveball, so you've got to completely relearn everything that you thought you knew. That's all I'm going to say. Now then, there's a car coming. Oh, it's a long way away. Yeah, it was, but... Yeah, so... between each iteration there's completely new rules. Throw everything out. You've got to throw the rule book out and learn again. I remember seeing Mr. CLP and Agawin on there, Let's Plays in FS19, and you could tell it was the same between 17 and 19, where obviously the rules change a lot and it throws you out. You've got to relearn. I think Mr. CLP actually did say that. You've got to basically throw all that you know out the window and start again. And you have FS19 to FS22. There's similarities, but yeah, slight overlaps in what was and what is, but there's an awful lot of throw out the rule book and write a new one. That's why I'm worried about precision farming. Right, it's fighting me this time, the dolly. It's very weird, it never used to have any issues and now all of a sudden it does. For those of you who wonder why I always undo the straps, it's because 90% of the time, if you undo the straps, it does remind the wood that's sitting with that gravity exists, but you still sometimes have to switch it on and off a second time. There's still, but most of the time it does remind. Again, it's a foible, like we were just talking about, and that was true in FS19 as well. There's a lot of wood foibles that have followed between FS19 and FS22 that are the same. There's very little difference between the wood, I find. It's almost, yeah, there's nothing I can think of right now that's changed with wood cutting. Workers are still afraid by trees, they still get scares with them. Yeah, there's an awful lot. Oh, wow, it's doing very well. Right, let's get that last little bit done. I am tempted to get that wood trailer actually, for how much we do use it and how much leasing costs are, but I don't know, we're not really going to go into logging in a big way, so I think leasing. Right, wow, didn't ever think we'd see this day when we'd got this lot done. Right, yeah, these little bits are going to be hard to drop in the trailer. Oh, no. Ah, invisible bits. Too small. I'm going to chop those, I think. Just try this set. Yeah, you are going to go then. I'm not faffing around. Brilliant. Clean up done. See, technically you should really be able to go between the bars, but because there's invisible bits, it's not so easy. Let's put a strap on that. We have got rid of the biggest pile. History is made. We have actually, yes. Fantastic. Now let's work on these other little piles. There is another biggish pile as well, that's in that back way, but yeah, this was my biggest concern. That's a bit long actually, yeah it is. Right, let's chop that down, because if you chop it when you've got the straps on, it actually breaks the straps. Right. I think we have another load. That's no invisible bits on that. That was good. Ooh. Perfect. Oh, he says. I do believe. Wow. last little bits. Again. Excellent. Alright, final field. Not sure whether, I think we're going to leave that till next session. It's been quite a long session now. It has. I think we'll has it? Yeah, it will. We've got 2 fields left to do. I think that's well worth doing. Yeah, it has been quite a long session. So, but I'm not going to be long. I'm going to tie these 2 sessions together and post them. Either join them together as one, or the one thing we will do though is to clean up on this field. I want to finish it properly. Got filled the Rudolph up. Oh, and yeah, excellent. Ha, remembered. Not much on this corner. That's been a productive session. Even for the wood alone, it's been tremendously good. Right, yeah, this is the bit I was talking about where it misses, and it does this on all the harvests as well. Very strange. I don't understand why it's not worked in properly. So 2 fields left to harvest. I think I will join these sessions together, so I'm not going to say goodbye. Because to you, I'm going to re-record this and join it, so yeah. Must get rid of those bales as well in winter. I think it's January that bales are at their best, or December. I think it's January. Just trying to remember. Although no, I know why I was leaving them now. Animals. That's right. I do remember. We've discussed this before. My dodgy memory. Right, and that is where we're going to leave it for this session. Right, so I'm not going to say goodbye because I'm going to join them. Right, I'm going to say my words. We're going to go straight into a time lapse. So I'm going to see you guys and gals on the other side. Hello and welcome back. Well, we just finished the harvest. I've just got to empty this into... Now, I did take note of what was from the other field, so we will know what exactly we've got from the original 3 fields to compare. We've got rid of an awful lot. One other thing I'd like to do is move the load of wood, or finish off the load of wood that I did earlier. It's going to be on the same recording session, but it really is another recording session, if you know what I mean. What I mean is you'll see this on the episode with all of the harvest, whereas truthfully, yeah. Now then, what is the point? Let's send back the header, give the shop a ring and get them to come and pick it up. We shall... To be honest, we are doing very, very well with the awards. We have moved an awful lot of it. I'm quite chuffed. The biggest pile obviously was out at the front, which was shifted the last bits earlier in this episode. But also shifted, boy, with some horrible bits with... Yeah, there's a little bit down here now. There's not so much wood down here as I actually thought. But there were some awkward pieces with an awful lot of invisible, horrible bits. We may also do a bit of clearing up in winter, and we can actually see, yeah, there's some large thick logs, but very small, if that makes any sense. So I might put them on our trailer. There's a little pile. Oh no, I moved that one. I did. There's a little pile here on the left. And there's a few bits and bobs in places, but the big piles are gone. I think we could literally put these on our own thing. So I'm going to take one load now. And then I'm sending the trailer back. Like, yeah, there's a little tiny pile there, but again, they're so spindly anyway. They're really... Right, now let's fuel up and... Oh no, repairing we don't need, 97%. Yes, we shall have a look. I would like to see how much we actually managed in the end. I really would. Right, let's not the petrol over. Fuel. Yes, so I've got it written down on a piece of paper somewhere, exactly what we got from that field. Let me have a look. It was 23,900 and 20,102. Now it was 957, I think, but I left 57 in the trailer just to make things more difficult for myself, which means it was 23,900 and 20,102. So 24,002 litres off the new field. So, yeah, when we've put all of that in the silo, we shall know exactly, minus that, and we'll know exactly what we got from these 3 fields. The original ones. We did well, and it was amazing, because if you think about it, at 40 tonnes, I was right. I did say that field's about almost as big as our 3 fields, and I think it's not far off, because it's almost... Yeah, we'll see anyway. Yeah, not going to second guess. But this is me just finishing off. It's going to be tacked onto the episode because I sort of finished it very quickly earlier. Right, we're on the right hand side, so we need to be coming out from this away. But yeah, almost all of the wood has gone now. What little tiny bits there are left we'll either cut up, or we should put on our own trailer and take it across the road. Some of them are so spindly though, it really... Yeah. There was one log that was absolutely awful. It really was. I chopped it up because it got some massive invisible bits that I couldn't drag it around. So I thought, you know, I should take great pleasure in chopping you up. So I did exactly that. Right. So then, now let's have a quick look in the silo to see what we actually finished with. That's job 1. So, wow, 80,000. Yeah, I am right. 40, in fact more. We got more from the new fields. Over half, 43,000. Yeah, well, no, sorry, 44,000 meaning 36,000 was from the original 3 fields. So actually the new field, and they were all fertilised equally, actually we got more than... Now that's the point. When do we sell sunflowers? I can't remember. It's not something I've done yet. Top prices in February. We're in September. Right, so we're going to have to wait through the winter. But still, we were at 20 something thousand, I think. And we're now up to 40 because of the wood. So let's get that shifted. I can't remember which bit of where I am. I think I'm at the... Yeah, I am. Yeah, this was the last big pile. Is a little tiny bit. I think we might get almost all of this. Yeah, they say there are a couple of little piles that I will... Yeah, I'm going to say nothing. We are going to get as much of this as we can this time. Right. Smashing. Whoa. He says as he literally smashes into his own, well, the rented trailer. Incurring the wrath of the shop. Now then, let's put some... Yeah. It is amazing how quickly this actually fills up though with the invisible bits on this. It really is shocking. Ooh. Found another big one. Some nice big chunky ones on this. Yeah, there's a little pile over there, but again, I don't mind the smaller ones if we can just go around and find any bigger logs that would be too big for our trailer. I am quite happy, because I don't want this to be a monster session, because it already is big from what we did earlier. So this is just really me taking this and sending that trailer back. So I want to make sure that we've got any of the larger logs that are too big for our trailer. Oh, I think I'm going to have to drop that and re-pick it up. Yeah, that's better. Yes, some very interesting journeys across the road with this little, with the wood earlier. Right, let's have a look. Wander around just to see any larger ones, and if there aren't any large ones, we shall scoot. And I don't mean the thick logs that are small. I will take those later on our own trailer. That's not massive. Anything big there? No, that's all spindly. It would be nice just to keep a reserve in case we are... Now there is another pipe. On the left hand side, set back. I remember seeing it in this episode. I nearly ran it over. Let's have a look at that. Got all of that lot. Got all of this lot, including the little pile down there. Yeah, there's one just set back. Oh, yeah, there's a little pile. Yeah, they're not big. Again, that's all small. One piece of wood there that escaped my notice earlier. Yeah, that's it. I'm happy with that. All the bits left now, they can all... We'll either stick them in one pile or we'll take them. But that is it. The last of the big sets of wood that we've had to waiting all this time for. I'm so chuffed that we've actually got this job done. I thought there was a time when I thought it was never going to get finished. And we still do have flying cars. If you look closely, they fly at certain points. Yeah, there we go. It's more than a bump. The one in front's flying at the minute, and then it will drop down. One in front of the one in front, should I say. Yeah, he is flying now, actually. Flying cars on this map. It's not what you see everywhere. And then it will just drop on the floor in a minute. Watch that. Any second now. Yeah, now he's on the floor again. Right. Let's indicate. Right. Yes, we did do very well out of the wood. It should tide us over till the winter, and we bought that new tractor, so I think I owe a little bit of money. So if we can, I shall pay that loan off. I think it was 10 grand. It wasn't a lot. nice. Right, we should leave the wood trail here and shout the shop to pick that up. There we go, job's a good one. They're a speedy lot at that shop, you know, absolutely amazing. Excellent service, 46,603. That is amazing. 26,000 of that. Right, let's do that instantly. We shall repay. Yeah, it was 10 grand. So 36,603, and we have a new tractor as well. Yeah, the Forestry, 150 horsepower one. We can put a 3-point link, the Pepe 978 front lifter will go nicely on that, and I think that's exactly what we're going to do. So we are get it converted at the garage. We shall spend 2.5 grand to get the front 3-point link on. Next session we will do all the field work. It was yeah, so we've got all the harvest in. Yeah, I think next session what we'll do is we'll have some fun. We will yeah, rush this. We'll get the field work done, and then we shall push time through till next February, and we shall sell our sunflowers, a bumper crop. Another thing I would like to do is to start thinking about productions, but also first and foremost is as we keep... Oh, I did miss a big one. Oh. Yeah, first and foremost I would like to do what we said we'd do, so animals, that is the next project. We bought field 5, tick. Next it is to, yeah, definitely get that 150 grand. We've done all the clearing work now. There's no wood in that area at all. We've got plenty of room even for productions if we so choose. So I'm going to leave the dolly just this, yeah, just inside slightly. Ooh, only, yeah, I think we best put that down or we might wreck the shed. Yeah, so that is pretty much where we're going to leave it. I just wanted to finish off because I literally jumped out the tractor earlier and that was it. So yeah, it's definitely fantastic. Excellent. 80. I can't believe that. That is amazing. 80.5 tons. Wow. If we're selling those at top price, that's 160,000. Mind you, thinking about it, we aren't going to be able to do any more than buy the shed, so it looks to me... Let's have a look. Is there any... I think we said we were going to... Yeah, if we do canola, it's... I think we said we were going to do something else. We did soybeans, corn. We haven't done a corn harvest. Really haven't. Shall we do corn for corn, or shall we do corn for... have a silo put down? This is all me trying to... We're going to need to build up a lot of money to do the horses, the cows, definitely. So it's 150 grand for the shed, that massive shed, and that's the one I'm going to go for. I'm going to go into it in a big way. So if we do 160,000, we're only just going to be able to afford the actual thing itself. Let me have a quick look. I think I did. I'm sure it was today. Yes, that's a beautiful. Yeah, I was seriously wondering that for 15,000. Although to be honest, no, there's some really good ones actually. There's the Johnson Brothers one that's fantastic for small scale logging. Yeah, that would be fantastic. And that, of course, the TerraTrack, amazing. But yeah, so that is. I'm not going to waffle on. I'm really not. I'm well chuffed though with the progress we've made. Our tools keep growing. It is fantastic. It really is. We really have an absolutely amazing set of stuff. We truly do. Yeah, I wouldn't mind buying another one of these for mulching to begin with. Again, I think probably we might. We've had no grass work in this at all. I think long term. In fact, let's have a look at our land. Yeah, now we have got field 5. I think I'd like to convert one of them into a grass field. Say field 3, and then we'll do some grass work. Should we convert the biggest and have 3, 4 and 5 as our traditional farming and just have 2, which was the largest of our original fields, as a grass field? I think that's the way I'm going to go, in which case with next session we'll plant grass in that. 5 is now our largest field. I've done enough checking of what we did. That is amazing. So if we take 36 tons, yeah, that's not. It's nice to put these in perspective. I am going to try and remember to actually go back in editing and see, but most of them are pretty much of a muchness really. The soybeans were lower, pretty much the same as it was in Farming Simulator 19, where all in all the yields versus what you get for them are pretty much the same. It's not that much difference. Yeah. So I think we now have enough tractors, unless there's a big one. I would like that. Definitely we have 3 small tractors and 1 medium. Yeah, so we now have 4 tractors. I mean, the John Deere really is a very little thing, but it has done us proud. It's ideal for running one of the mower stroke mulches, and again a Forestry the same. That can be the second one for doing those type of light duties. We've then got this high range small tractor, and then we've got our present the biggest tractor we've got, the workhorse, the Magnum. So yes, going forwards we're certainly missing a high range tractor. We should keep scouring the sales, but before we do that, we can manage with our team. We are going to literally go all out for our cow yard and cows. So yes, and if we're going to do some grass work, mind you, we're not going to get a cut in. We can grow. We'll get it to grow a little bit, and yeah, we'll get it to grow now because that'll be useful, because that means it will start growing next year, and we should get a cut in April. So we will definitely plant that tomorrow without a shadow of a doubt. Next session, should I say, when I say tomorrow. So we should prepare all of the fields, turn 2 into our grass field. We have got all the equipment. It's just been, I've never done grass because I've always planned on cutting the edges of the field, but the sessions were long enough already that it was just silly to do that, and that was such a waste, that fella's front grass mower. Yeah, my own silly fault. I already knew that the Batwings are my favourite mower to date. I love these. They're so absolutely amazing. I know they're not the largest, but you get 2 of those in a team and you've got a 12 point. Now Courseplay reads them as 6.8 metres, so that's nearly 7 metres. That's 14 metres if you've got 2 of those. That's bigger than the giant Kongsskild. So yeah, definitely fantastic. And of course, unlike the Kongsskild, we don't need a giant tractor to run them. So yeah, we'll get 2 of those on the go. We can mulch twice, cut twice, and we've got a lovely windrower. We've got our baler. Now that's a point. Is our baler a baler wrapper? Where is our baler as well? Probably right in front of me. I can't remember if it's just, I think it is just a baler, isn't it? It is. Yeah, so we're going to need to buy my favourite tool, which is the excavator. No, I accidentally called it the excavator on one of the Let's Plays. It is the extractor. I absolutely love that. It's amazing. So yes, we should buy the extractor, and we shall make things. Anyway, on that note, I'm not going to keep waffling. I did promise I wouldn't, and I mean it. So yeah, with growth is cracking on. So next time it is definitely building towards the animals, but we are going to need to, right, yeah, it's a point. If we are going to go into corn harvest, how big a silo are we going to do? No, we're going to do it as bales, aren't we? Yeah, if I'm going to do grass for that, just have a look at something. Production. How much does that little one do? I do love this one. I think it's amazing. Chopped sugar beet, silage, potatoes, normal sugar beet, manure, and slurry. Okay, right. So, yeah, right, we'll leave it there. I'm going to do my homework, but yes, thank you very much for watching. I hope you're going to continue with me on this journey. Animals definitely next, as we've already said for a long time. I don't care what projects are coming up, but we are going to definitely start to build up our money to build that massive shed, and then after that we need to build up some money to buy the cows themselves. We will buy in our total mixed ration to begin with, but whilst we make our own, but we'll, yeah, to begin with, until we build the herd up, we will buy our stuff in by using our own arable. And yeah, and also thinking of a production as well, long term, definitely. But anyway, for now, I am going to say goodbye for now.